Hello, Goosify, school platform, whichever other communities I'm posting this in. Risa, ADHD Focus Founders, School IRL, maybe. I want to wish you all so much love and so much joy and contentment and peace in this moment. Somebody really special to me is going through an extraordinarily difficult time. And some of you might know her. She's actually on this platform, on the school platform. And it got me thinking about how I'm also going through, well, I've just passed through the most difficult time of my life, so I'm still kind of coming out of that. And how the difficulty doesn't so much get easier on the outside, but we definitely, we spiral back to the same thing again and again, right? And we really get to experience the change in our own inner nature, like in the way that we relate to that difficulty, in the way that we experience that difficulty. And I remember just telling her something that I've come to know very well in my own life, and still can be tricky at times to remember, especially when you're like locked into something in the moment, like it has a grip on you, and like you're just lost in like the thought, like you're just kind of like going along with like that wave of energy, right? You're just lost in it. And that is like everything passes. Literally every single thing passes. From the most beautiful things that we sense with our senses, or like sensations in our body, like warm, washes of pleasure, like pleasurable sensations, to the most unimaginable, difficult experiences that we have as human beings, right? Not just in the event that may happen once in our life, right? In that particular event, but then the trillions of moments that happen after that, that sort of, recycled that one event. And many of you know what I'm talking about because you've experienced this, right? And we call it, just nervous system regulation, forgiveness, letting go. Sometimes, we've all been through life where, we've been learning stuff about how to be since we were little. And what we don't know is our nervous system, our sense of identity, like in here, like our true identity has sort of like latched on to however we learned, right? It wasn't actually our true identity. It was like the fear in us that sort of latched on to what we learned about how to be. And now this fear in us created this false separate sense of identity known as the ego, right? Or the subconscious mind, the subconscious programming. So many different, names for it. And so now it's this thing that's sort of, whenever something happens to us on the outside, this is the first thing that's like sending our body into an alarm state, right? It's like warning, right? This out of 3 trillion gazillion things that you've learned is not how it's supposed to be. This is our subconscious mind 24/7, literally. And so the more that you upgrade in your life, right, as in the deeper the healing you do, the more that you sort of come into your authentic truth about yourself, and your childlike essence, your purity. The more you do that, the more you will sort of experience like all these layers of the nervous system, all these layers of conditioning, right? You're gonna sift through them, and the challenges in life, of course, maybe never get easier, right? Because that's just life, right? We're evolving and growing, so it just makes sense that the challenges would become more challenging, in a sense. And although we don't wish that, you know, we just don't wish that. Sometimes that's, you know, how it happens. But the whole point is that you in here are an upgraded level of yourself, a different human being almost in yourself, right? As in when that thing comes around or that next challenge comes, and life is so beautiful that it gives you the same challenge, right? Thank God for that. Like you spiral again around, like, you know, around again to the old thing, right? Whether it was your health or that relationship or like that very specific trigger, you get to experience it again and again and again. And the most beautiful part about that is that you actually get to see and experience how you are different now. And so this is so key to remember, because so many of us, like, we're always making progress just in every moment that we're alive, right? Whether we know consciously that we're working towards something, that we're healing something, right? That we're, that we want something, you know, that we're hoping, you know, to work on something, like regardless of all of this, right? Even as we're alive, our psyche is like, right, rearranging itself, like restoring, our consciousness is being restored. Like we are always sort of returning, right, in moments of rest, in moments of like activity, right? We're always sort of returning to neutrality, to our equilibrium in ourself. And that's such a beautiful thing, because it's almost like you don't even have to do much. And then, you know, that same situation comes around and you're like, oh, that was different. And so, yes, everything passes. And even as that same old thing comes back again, that thing is different too. Because your experience of it is different, because you are different. And so this is just a reminder. If you're going through a hard time, which is always, right, for all of us, like today, tomorrow, in any moment, right? In any moment we're having a hard time. In any moment we're smiling, and in any moment we're also having a hard time. The next moment we're having a hard time. It just is, right? Just to find the highest place in you that you have discovered, the highest place in you that has been revealed to you. And to always remember that place, because sort of like this old programming, right? This thing is playing all the time, right? And you really have to, like in anything in life, right? If you want peace, if you want joy, if you want change, if you want money, right? You have to fight the old way. You have to fight the old habit. And right now, this is the old habit, like the noise, the chatter, the negative beliefs, the stories that play around here all the time, right? The whole commentary of the mind. This is the old way. Fear is the old way. And so if you want new, if you want different, if you want better, you are going to have to climb out of this bad boy, right? Like climb all the way out of it, boop, and then come out here where there's so much space. And in the next moment, you might find yourself here again. Because guess what? Like, this is just the programming. Like, this is how we're conditioned. You can't even control it. We've been operating like this for like decades, you know? So yeah, it makes sense. Like if you're, this is not going to change overnight. It might take years. But it doesn't even matter. Because everything is about being here now. It's about being here, right? It's being present right now to the experience that we're having right now, to this moment right now. That's all there is. Everything is now. And so just remembering, okay, all I got to do is just find the presence in this moment. Find the calm in this moment. I'm just here now. And literally when you're just here now, everything literally like fades away. It just doesn't even exist in this moment. That's how powerful presence is. And when you experience that, it's almost like, whoa. That's why, like this, right, is all covered up, right? It's buried, and it's so hard to get through this. It's seemingly hard because there's so many layers of like the identity, the old way, illusion, programming covering this. probably because of its profound beauty and ultimate power. Like, this is infinite power here. It can't even be like encapsulated, right? In this moment, there's just, in nothingness, there's infiniteness. And there's just potential. And so, yes, you have to climb out of your life, your old way of thinking, your old identity, your old beliefs, your old negativity, your old chatter, your old fear. You have to climb out of it. If you want to get here, if you want to get to peace, if you want to get to presence, yeah, you do have to fight all of that. But it is possible. And if your heart is for this, like literally everybody, I don't know if everybody, but, you know, many people that, you know, find themselves on this journey have experienced so much of like suffering here, so much hardship, like in this old way, that it was just so difficult that they had to, like, it's almost like the suffering like propelled them out of it, right? And it didn't mean like they flew out of it. No, it was still had to go through the process of it, but literally the suffering was like their motivation. You know, it was a catalyst for then, you know, bringing them on the journey of recognition, right? Recognition of our truth, which is presence, right? Which is not a thought or belief that comes and goes, because it comes and goes. And everything comes and goes, and you are not what comes and goes, right? Because it's coming and going, and you're here to see it come and go. And so we are both this, right? We are that which sees, and we are also the things that arise and come and go too. We're that too. But there's a power in knowing that I see those things. And that power is that I don't have to identify with them. I don't have to believe in them so strongly. I don't have to, like, you know, base my worth on them, or like just really believe in them. I don't have to. I have that choice. And so when something should arise here, right, in our life, in an external circumstance, right, challenging circumstances, adversity, difficulty, right, on the outside, or even on the inside, right, thought, belief, fear, any kind of experience that we can have internally, right, when any of these should arise, we automatically, you know, okay, I have the power. I have the power to see this thing, right? I see it come. I also see again the next moment it's not here, or like, okay, when I do recognize that it comes back, that's fine though. It just wasn't here though before that, right? So that's how I know that, maybe, right? But I'm here witnessing it all. And that is a great relief, because the more you sit with that, the more these things, right, the thoughts, beliefs, right, your inner experience will subside. It will, because you're now sitting in presence, and your focus is on the energy of presence, right? So the presence will grow. It's just how it works, you know. And the presence grows larger and larger and larger, and you take up more and more space, and it takes up more and more space in your being. You take up more and more space in your being, instead of like this old way. The old way becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. And so I just thought I would record this for those of you that are going through a difficult time. All of us, right? We're all going through a difficult time. But just know, right? This too shall pass. Everything passes. And again, I have the power, right? I have the power because I get to see. And I've always said in my life, like, I think my one prayer in my whole life was just insight. For years on end, I asked, like, you know, please just let me see what I'm not seeing. And then the last 4 years was like a huge, like, merging of my subconscious, like integrating my subconscious into my conscious. And let me tell you, like, that is like literally like that's the fear of death, right? That's the fear. That's every fear that we have as human beings. That's the core root of fear, right? The subconscious mind is literally the collection of all the fear that we've experienced in our life. So yeah, that's really beautiful. You know, dreams do come true. We do evolve and grow into the person that our heart has always wished to be. And all we know is that wish. We don't know how it looks on the outside. And thank God we don't know how it looks on the outside. Because you're kidding me? I would be like bugging out if I knew like what all of this was supposed to like, you know, amount to or work on in me. I'd be like driving myself like 10 times, you know, more insane than than already, you know. So it's a good thing that we don't know. It's a good thing that we're sort of like just walking through life blindfold. That's a relief in itself. Even though like we don't know and have that control, it's probably better, you know. We don't need to know. So just every moment, right? Being here and doing our best in every moment and finding our true north in every moment, right? Finding our presence in our heart. And then, yeah, doing it again in the next moment, in the next moment, in the next moment. And once you have a love for presence, right, you grow sort of like like anything that you work on in life, right? A vigilance for it. It's like I love this thing so much. Like I love, you know, my work so much, or I love my child so much, or I love, you know, warm weather so much, right? When you love something, you just love it. you just love it, and you grow a love for it. I love peace so much. Like I love being in the heart so much. I love so much what that feels like. And so whatever you love will grow. And so I know this resonates on such like a heart level with so many of you, because so many of you people, so many of you guys are so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So yeah, just remember, you know, you got this. We got this, you know, hard time or not, like everything just is, and everything passes, and just here in the moment, you know, just being present and finding your North Star. I hope this was helpful, and I hope all of you have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, just magical day. Even if you're just like me and sitting and staring out the window. I mean, cats do it all the time, and they seem pretty content. They seem pretty, you know, at peace. And so I love you so much, and you got this. I'll see you. Bye.